Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitt's back once again in the yard of streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. All right, and you can't be taking no nights off without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
Howdy.
Go Celtics.
Oh, that's what it says.
Yeah.
I've been trying to read what your shirt said for like
Celtics
the entire time. All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm just prepared for tomorrow. You know.
Yeah, we playing the Heat?
Yeah. They're already like threatening the Celtics too.
Isn't Jimmy Butler out?
Yes. But they slaughtered the Bulls, and only Caruso was out. So
well, the Bulls aren't that good.
Well, they were in the playoff. Well, I mean,
in retrospect, I as a champion, come on, we look down.
Yeah.
We look over the competition.
I mean, I guess it's fine. It's the Heat. We get that over with, I hope. But I just think it's funny. They're like, it's going to be a very physical game. It's like, are you threatening them? Like,
it's going to be physical. That I will agree with. That it's going to get chippy. That I 100% agree.
Yeah, but it'll be better that Mr. Jimmy Butler is not in that game because he tends to get extra chippy. So
he does. I love Himmy Buckets. I do love him.
Alrighty.
But I know you can't stand that. I know what you need to have in your life, Sara, to get that stank of Himmy Butler out of your head. Let's hear from the peeps. We got David was popping. Segues are weird, Sara. That was just weird. We got David's galore. Jay, Boston team is stacked. But here's the thing. Boston teams are stacked in the regular season. I want to see them actually win.
And you know what they're going to do tomorrow?
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Stand and deliver.
Yeah.
Right. Damn right.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right they're gonna stand and deliver.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we'll get to that, Jay, and we'll get to all the other stuff that happened on Smackdown. Because you and I were just saying this right before we hit record, that we both watched it very intently this week. I would say it's me personally. I watched it, did my live watching, and then when I came home from work today, it was very intently, on my laptop, like actually watching, looking around for things. It was a different type of viewing, and I think it's because this new era, you're trying not to nitpick, but you're watching more intently because you just know it's not as predictable as it used to be.
I also didn't see if anyone did anyone post what the Wyatt 6 thing was last night, what the code brought you to.
Yeah, I saw it. It's some like weird ass picture.
Oh, okay.
Of like it's black and white too.
Okay.
And then someone circled something. Like, I'm not kidding you. They had to like really zoom in on the phone to get this, and then circled like a logo of some sort. Very obscure. I mean,
it's fine. We know what it is already. You know what I mean? Like, we already know that it's gonna be Uncle Howdy and whatever. So
abstract.
I was just curious. What I am curious about, though, is who is going to join. Who's going to be a part of it? Is it only going to be like Uncle Howdy and maybe Alexa Bliss? Like, what's that going to be? It would make the most sense because it's like, did you forget about us? Well, they've both been gone. So it's like that would make sense.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah. Now I'm trying to think because it's 6. So you'd have.
Well, because Dexter's been gone. Karrion Kross and Scarlett are already in their own thing.
I forgot about that.
So those were the ones that we guessed. Gacy is doing his own thing in NXT. Because that was another one.
I think I think Joe Gacy should get that call up. Joe Gacy is really he's got something. Okay. I love when Joe Gacy pops up on my screen because it's so random.
Yeah, but I don't want him in the Wyatt 6. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
love this entire episode, especially the new bloodline.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't even
I
get me
mean,
started. Don't even get me started because I was calling this. I just want everybody to kiss my feet, okay? Because I was saying a year ago that this is what was gonna happen, and I also said that Solo was gonna be the best member of the bloodline. I just want everybody to know I said this a year and a half ago, okay? So all this stuff that you're seeing and you want to praise Solo, you're welcome. I said this a year ago, okay?
I'm not kissing your feet.
All right,
I'm
you can suck
just
them. I'm just kidding.
what?
I was joking. Please don't. Oh man.
that was unhinged. Where's
Sorry.
main event Fro when you need him?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Just
Just get
you take
started.
it. You just
Okay.
well, apparently I'm sucking on your toes.
Yes,
You just
baby.
you
Okay.
just put up the banner.
Okay. So SmackDown started with a bang because they had AJ Styles versus LA Knight to kick off the show. And this crowd was hot. I was excited. They were really into this match the entire time.
Yeah.
And they clearly fit more people in there because we also had the smaller set, so I thought that was cool. And I think that it was a great way to start the show because it wasn't just a random match or a random segment. It was a match that actually had meaning and that people were wanting to see, regardless of basically knowing the result of it. Like, you knew that AJ was going to win. Oh, that's the other one. AJ Styles is the other one that has the new song. I was like, you don't want none, or whatever he says. Like, oh brother, we can get back to that when we talk about Death Rebel, but
I can't go that. I will go into a full out laughing attack, and we got to be serious. We got to put on our Lance Storm cap and be serious for a minute. Because it was predictable. I will say the one takeaway from this, that the pop LA Knight got when it right into the first match, and it was like, that's how the show should start. Like, that pop was like a really cool, like, okay, it doesn't matter that he's just facing AJ right now, like, he's that guy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. It was nice too because, like, there's people who are like, oh, LA has fallen, down the ranks, blah blah blah. People don't really care, and it's like, not true. Like,
not at all.
Not true. Like, it felt like that when it was all of this stuff going on between him and Roman, but that was more so about their decisions of like not having him on SmackDown, and then like not
that's so different.
Him after his match with Roman, but that had nothing to do with LA Knight, So we're gonna see AJ Styles face Cody Rhodes at Backlash in France. I think that's gonna be a banger, absolute banger.
That's an expected 5-star. It won't get it. That's a classic in the making. Which, fun fact, Sarah, did you know that AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes have never faced off against each other?
I did not.
They have never faced off.
I like that they can kind of feud in a way also. Like, I know that it was just a random number one contenders match, but because they are the opposite in character, like, they can kind of like go after
they can
each
get
other
into a little bit. Yeah,
they can build it more than like, oh yeah, AJ won number one contenders match.
You.
Okay, yeah. Well, they could even bring up the Bullet Club maybe because they're both connected to the Bullet Club.
I mean, Tama Tonga's here too. Why not just throw the bloodline back into the mix?
Why? Because I've wanted the Bullet Club in WWE for so long, but I wanted it with Finn, so I'm like, I can't get it out of my brain. I know, but it's just like, I would have loved it if they had gone in that direction with the Judgment Day. Like, if it had been Judgment Day with the same people and whatever, but they had it be more like the Bullet Club, that would have been. But I'm never gonna get it, so I need to just get over it because whatever.
Can't always get what you want.
All right, let's move on to the reason why we're all here, and that is to say that I am the best because I predicted this. So we're just gonna go over everything that happens with the bloodline right now because it was a consistent storyline throughout the entire show, much like it used to be, which I really like. I think this is really like the best way to go about involving and continuing the story of the bloodline while Roman is absent. Like, I think they're doing such a good job. So we first see Solo show up and he's in a suit, and it's funny because like Paul's like, "Oh, look, those are like some nice threads you got there," and I'm like, he's like in the lamest suit possible. He's like got a t-shirt and a blazer.
I fuck with it. I loved it.
It fit the vibe. It fit.
Oh,
Solo's
it absolutely
vibe.
fit the vibe for sure.
But it was just funny because it's not like he like showed up in like a suit and tie. It was like, oh,
he didn't show up like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. And he immediately just wants Paul to find Kevin Owens. That's basically what this whole thing is. Tama Tonga does show up before they move on and scares the crap out of Mr. Paul Heyman, which I love that also. He doesn't even say a word. He's just like breathes on him from behind. And it's like, oh God. Like, but then he also, Solo calls him his MFT.
All right, here we are. We're I was told that it's my family tree.
Interesting. Okay.
But I have a feeling that it's going to be a deeper meaning.
There's going to be something. Yeah, it's going to be something.
It's going to be a deeper meaning. I'm just
because
here for the ride.
Yeah. So
everyone needs a deeper meaning.
Yeah. So later we see Paul apologize to Solo because they cannot find Kevin Owens, and he's like, you know what? He's got to be here somewhere. He's here. He's a SmackDown guy. He's going to be in one of these locker rooms, and Solo just doesn't care. And this is when we get that continuation shot going through Gorilla to get Solo out. And I was just like vibing to his music because I love his entrance theme. Like if that was a Def Rebel one, then kudos to you because it's great.
I think it is. I think they're Def Rebel.
Yeah. So Paul follows him out to the ring and he gets on the mic. And before he can really say a whole lot or even utter the words a tribal chief, Solo cuts him off. And he's getting that Dom heat, brother. I was like, yes, Pittsburgh.
He was getting massive heat.
I loved that. So he says last week he had to lose a brother because if you remember, he
killed his brother.
Yeah, he murdered.
He killed his own brother
on national TV, much like he did AJ Styles.
Dude, like Romus and Romulus.
Okay, so he took out Jimmy with the debut of Tama Tonga, and so he said, "You know what? Last week I had to lose a brother to get a new one, and then here comes Kevin Owens thrown."
That was shocking. That was really shocking.
I didn't watch SmackDown. I didn't watch SmackDown last night. I watched it today, but I knew what happened. So like I saw some of the pictures of Kevin. I was like, damn, he's bleeding a lot. Like I was kind of surprised that they let that happen because I'm like, okay, the few times that they've actually had blood, it was accidental, and then they were still trying not to show it. Clearly this was meant to be brutal looking. And I was like, dang, that's a lot. It looked insane.
It looked so brutal,
but it fit. Like that was needed. I feel like to like build up what they're trying to do with Solo and Tama. So Kevin Owens gets thrown out, and Tama Tonga brings him down basically to the ring, and then they all go in and like pledge their allegiance. Okay, to the bloodline, all three of them. And then KO, after he had been taken away from like medical personnel and security, he makes his way back because Kevin Owens is a fighter, bro. And that is when he made the biggest mistake ever because then they all started beating him up. He gets hit with the Samoan spike. Tama takes his blood and like wipes it across his abs.
Yeah, that was really tribalistic.
I was like, hey. And
hey.
Paul is horrified. So that's funny. And we see him dragged out to the parking lot a little bit afterwards by Nick Aldis to show him that there was a convenient little car accident that appeared to have happened in the parking lot. And it looks like Kevin's car was hit by Tonga's car. And that would be what we saw just happen in front of our eyes.
Fender bender.
Yeah. And Nick was saying, the draft is coming up and I don't want this kind of shenanigans on my show. And I just want you to know that losing is not the only thing that is going to have consequences. So I think all of this was so good, like so good.
So good.
And I saw a lot of people that were really excited about what is going on with Solo because they're like, oh my gosh, this is like the most that they have done with Solo in a year or whatever. And I agree. But then I had this thought because, of course, I have a football brain.
Well, you write it.
Yeah.
You write a lot about it.
I really feel like what we saw, because I had expressed a lot that I was really disappointed with how they were going about using Solo the past like year basically, and it feels to me like they drafted him, sat him as like he was like a rookie quarterback.
He was used backup.
Yeah,
He's
he was the
QB2.
rookie quarterback learning from the starter, you know?
I like
And it feels
that.
like, so yeah, they sat him for a year so he got to sit and learn from Paul Heyman, his brothers, and Roman. And now he's the guy. They're throwing him in as the new season. Solo is the guy. He's the starting quarterback. And now we're going to see all the fruits of that labor because, I mean, he's already off to such a hot start. Like, this is so good already.
It's unbelievable. Okay, before I go and try to find that tweet, few things I got to get off my chest about this segment. One being the fact that we want Roman chants was incredible. That's another type of heat for Solo. But then his reaction, if you saw it, he mouthed, he was like, "Oh, now you do. Now you chant his name. Now you want him,"
No,
which was perfect.
that was insane. It's like this is the epitome of how things work in wrestling. You know?
It was absolutely like that. I laughed out loud. I actually laughed. I'm like, this is you fickle people. This
Yeah.
is how wrestling should absolutely be at its peak,
But
and it is.
what's
It
great
should
about
be.
it too is like we assume that they're going to bring him back as a babyface. It's already working. It's been 2 weeks, dude. It's
Yeah.
already working. Like people want
Thank
to
you.
cheer for him now. That's insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And the fact too of how scared Paul Heyman is of Solo is just some of Paul's best work, and he just got inducted. It's a reason why he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Because this man went from Roman, like he was the god, he was the guy, and whatever Roman said was law. And now Solo's like, fuck Roman, I don't need him. Like,
Mm.
what do we? This is my show. Losing has consequences. These are the consequences. I'm now stepping up, and it's like, all right, you were just wild with power. And Paul, when he is dragged out to the parking lot to see the carnage
Mm-hmm.
between the rental cars, I was so hypnotized by Heyman because it was such a different Heyman than what we're used to.
Yeah.
This was like fear. Paul Heyman does not know what the word fear means,
And
but
it's like
he said that like he's like, do we understand? Nick was like, do we understand, Mister? It's like I understand. Like there was no Paul Heyman BS or con man talk. Like that is how you know this segment and how the bloodline. It's only going to get better from here.
well, and I think that if we're going to not have Roman around for however many months, I'm so glad that Paul is still around
You
because
need Paul. You
I
need
feel
Paul.
like we're kind of getting how Roman would maybe be reacting through Paul. You know, so it's like instead of Solo just doing all of this and there's no one really pushing back or reacting negatively, you know, or
Yeah.
frighteningly, like I like that we at least have Paul because Paul is like Roman's voice, even though Roman's not there.
Oh
So
no,
it's like,
he's the voice. He's
yeah,
the voice.
so it's pretty cool because even though Roman's not around, you kind of still feel like he is there, you know, like it's not as bad as when he was champion and you're like, oh my god, like there's nothing for these people to compete for or something, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so I think that they're doing a really good job so far and I'm really excited because I think this could potentially rival what we saw from Roman's bloodline. Like if they keep going down this route, I feel like it has all the makings to be just as good, if not better.
Oh, if
than
you
that.
throw in Jacob for 2 into this,
Yeah.
you may have probably I don't know of a lot of things where the sequel is better than the original,
Mm-hmm.
but you could get pretty damn close if you have a trio bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga, and Solo. And just I
Because
can't even. I
they're
can't
just
even.
and the thing is like it's because they're so different than the vibe that you get from Roman and the Usos, you know? Like it's not that Roman doesn't instill fear in his opponents or something, but it's like you look at Solo and you just know this is a tough mother effer. You know what I mean? And the
Oh,
same
he
thing
means
is
business.
yeah, something you feel the same way when you look at Tonga and if you when with Jacob Fatu. Like that is the vibe that you get from them, and that rivals what the Usos and Roman will do, especially as a babyface group. Like it's just like you're not gonna take them for granted because they're all, the three of them are very well accomplished in WWE. Obviously, I mean Roman's coming off a nearly 4-year title reign, so it's nothing to say like no, that's not impressive, you know.
No, yeah,
But like it's just gonna be so good to see the differences between them and like how they build off of that and like how Roman will ultimately react when he gets back, because we have to remember he was grooming Solo for this very position that Solo is now taking, doing
very
on.
literally.
And it's what's interesting is like Paul isn't really saying a whole lot about Roman and like what Roman is saying or how he's reacting to everything. So I feel like that could even be an interesting element because maybe Roman doesn't care. Maybe Roman's like, this is what I wanted him to be. This is what I wanted him to do. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of an interesting element.
Can't call him though. He can't
I know.
because
Well,
his phone broke.
well,
like,
yeah, because you
they
can't get
stepped
a
on
new
the
one.
phone.
Yeah, because you can't get a new one. There's no such thing as new phones.
Well, okay. Kayfabe is real to me, damn it.
Whatever. Oh, I meant to put this up there too, but yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited.
But this is it. This is like
to
sum up. To summarize.
This is what I said last year, guys. I said Solo was going to be like my favorite member of the Bloodline, and we are seeing it now. And I just like predicted it last year, so I think someone said something about how like a video, one of the video that we put out like a week ago or whatever, when we were talking about how I predicted this like a year ago, someone was like saying I don't deserve to like give credit for it or something like that. I was like, whatever, dude. I literally said this a year ago.
Don't deserve a chant in the comment section. That's tough.
Whatever, bro. So anyway,
whatever, brother,
I'm gonna give myself flowers if I want to, Mr. Commenter.
Fucking give you all the lilies.
Okay, so we can go to comments if you like.
Yeah, let's get some comments. Because Vinny's loving it. Solo is a good boss. Just he is, I mean, carnage. That
I hope they keep going with this because I've criticized Triple H for how he's like unable to actually make intimidating heels, and he's doing a good job so far with this Bloodline 2.0.
Remember how we said? Remember how we said the Triple H with heels, like, where are they?
Yeah.
And
well, that's what I just said. I said I criticized him. So that's why I'm saying I hope that he will continue with what he's doing with Solo, because then he's like, okay, giving me a little bit more confidence that he'll be able to do that with Solo in this Bloodline story, and then maybe apply it to other people as well, because we need these types of heels. It can't just be like, oh yeah, you're supposed to hate them. It's like, no, you want reasons to hate them. So that was why it was even a good idea for them to go after Kevin Owens, because he's kind of like Sami Zayn, where you don't hate him. You just can't, you can't
hate him. You
at least not right now. 10 years ago, you could have hate Kevin Owens, but NXT Kevin Owens, but not now.
when he powerbombed Cena, I did mark out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Solo doesn't fully trust Heyman like Roman did. Solo wants to make the final decisions, not waiting on Heyman to talk to Roman. Agreed.
I think
just do it.
And that's the thing, is because Solo was the number 2, he saw everything that Roman did and how he like betrayed Jay and he did things against Jimmy. Like he knows that it was just a matter of time until it probably happened to him. So why would he trust Paul? Because Paul signed off on all of it and he allowed all of it to happen. So I don't blame Solo. I think that's like an interesting part of the story as well, because he trusted him as far as he could throw him when they were buddy. But now he's like, nah, you can still be around, but like, you're not my guy. You're not my mouthpiece.
He's not his wise man.
No.
More layers. Let's keep peeling. Do we have any more comments here that I want to get to? Oh, hey, Nathaniel, what's going on? Sarah, it is a different vibe. Seemed like Nick didn't believe Paul when he said he knew nothing about the car crash. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I mean. That when the GM's like, Paul, come on, it's like dead ass. Like, what are you? You think I was like, yeah, let's do this? No.
And that's why I think it's so interesting, because it's probably true. He didn't know anything about it, and it's because Solo's not talking to him. But because we have 3.5 years or whatever it is as him pulling off all of these things, that yeah, he was behind it. It's like, of course Nick's not going to believe him. So I think it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how this all comes together and what might inevitably be the trigger that kind of makes Paul like distance himself,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine he's going to want to hang around all of this all the time. It's just funny because he was like so scared of what was happening to Kevin Owens. And I'm like, you've seen it so many times with Roman and the Usos doing it to people,
That's what
but
I'm
now
saying.
it's like, oh, this is too much. Like,
It's the layers. It's so good.
yeah.
So good. Oh, God. All right. What else we got up in here?
Then we have, we're talking about Nick Aldis, so let's talk about him some more. So we saw on Monday that they introduced the new World Tag Team Championships. So we knew that they were going to do the same thing on SmackDown. And first of all, I don't know that we talked about this on the show. I don't remember. I don't think so. But the first thing I want to say is, so Nick Aldis comes out and introduces Triple H. Does anyone else understand, or has it gone over your head how significant it is that Triple H is coming out to the game again? The song. Does anyone understand how significant that is?
I don't understand the significance, but I know that it means there's something different. I'll say I noticed there's a difference, but I don't know why.
The significance is, remember anytime he would come out as not Triple H, he had to play that. They always played him that other song.
Okay,
and no one cared. Yeah, and it's like no one liked it, and it was like, oh yeah, that's his like COO music. So this is just, to me, it's like another chapter, another page of saying Vince is gone, because Triple H is like, no, I'm coming out to my iconic theme that everybody knows and loves. I am not coming out to a separate theme because I'm out here as Paul,
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed, because I'm like, I was just waiting to see. I was like, okay, so when they played it at Mania, I was like, they're just trying to get a pop. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's Triple H. Like, he has, in my opinion, one of like top 3 themes all time.
Time. The game. Oh, come on.
Top 3.
Come on.
Okay. And he's probably not 3. So, I think I just noticed that they keep doing it. And so I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then they're also bringing him out to his real name, which I think is cool. So it's like,
Paul
we have
Triple H
completely kind of like, we're done with him being just Triple H. It's like, no, he's Paul Levesque because he is the guy. So it's like we're seeing him pushed out there in the same way that Vince was. Vince was treated like he was the guy that ran WWE. He didn't have separate themes. He was never brought out to like whatever, a ring nickname or something like that, So Triple H, I'm like, yes, I want to hear the game every time you come out, because I sit at home, I sit at a show, I don't care where I am, I'll play it on my phone, I sing it because that is a banger. So I was just excited that they're continuing that, and I didn't know if anyone else, like, if that was something that people noticed, because see, Richard likes King of Kings more. I don't like
it more, but I love it. I like the game more, but King of Kings also slaps.
It's not bad. I just mean, like, I don't love it. Like, it just doesn't hit the same for me, but it's not bad.
It's the Return of the Jedi of themes.
Whatever,
like,
sure.
If New Hope is the game,
okay.
Okay.
So Nick Aldis brings out Triple H. They kind of go on, blah blah blah. The crowd is loving them some Triple H, which I really like that they're allowing the crowd to show this for a bit before he just jumps straight into talking, because I think it's really important that fans are able to show their appreciation for Triple H right now, because we are so early in this time that we're moving into in WWE. I think it's important that Triple H is able to receive that type of reaction and like soak it in, because I think selling out shows and setting records at these new venues and selling all millions of dollars of merch, like, that's one way for a fan to say, like, show their appreciation to him. But being able to vocalize it because he's at your show, I think it's cool, because I can't imagine how difficult it was for him to realize that, like, he can't get in the ring again, like, no matter how bad,
and then
he
physically can't.
he was basically thrown into this role, even if this was eventually what was going to happen, which I don't think this was. I don't think Triple H was ever going to take over WWE as long as Vince had a say in
I
it.
don't think I think it got to a point where he didn't want to.
I think it's because of Vince. I think
Exactly, yeah.
Vince sold the company and didn't sell it to his own fucking daughter. Like, there's no way he was then going to say, "Here, Stephanie and Paul, I want you to take over WWE." No, he was going to sell that to some random company, and they were going to take over WWE, and it was probably going to plummet into the ground. I'm not going to lie, but so they talk for a bit, whatever. But first, Triple H makes sure to thank Nick for all the work he's been doing, because he said him and Adam have been great general managers of the two shows, which is even more important as we're a week away from this first night of the draft. And that is when they bring out A-Town Down Under. So we had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory come out, and they introduced them as the new WWE Tag Team Champions, which I am so happy about that we're
Thank
not.
God we're
It's no
off.
more Raw Tag Team titles and
Thank
SmackDown Tag Team
God.
titles.
Oh, I
And
can't stand it.
if I were a current male talent in wrestling and I was in a tag team, put me on SmackDown. I want that tag team title, because that
Oh my
design.
God.
Thank you for bringing back the old school vibe. Because as great as, I don't love the ones that they introduced for the world tag titles. They're definitely an upgrade. So it's like, I can't really.
They're good. They're good.
They're good. I'm
They're good.
glad that they didn't do what we thought, which was just going to be like, use those and just put the letters in blue.
Oh, I'm so happy there was some creativity and originality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad they brought back the old school style. And I'm obsessed. I'm just so happy with it, because some of the designs that we were seeing or over the last couple of years that people were teasing or whatever, it was like, no.
The leather, they got rid of the leather.
Yes.
So when we were recording last night,
Mm-hmm.
and because I was watching live and spoiled the ending to Styles LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of the stream where I think you're talking about something, and my jaw is on the floor. Like,
Yes,
I'm
I
just
know.
like,
I can tell it's because you're not listening. I can tell when you're not listening.
all right,
So.
well, I'm trying to listen, but when you get the tag team titles unveiled and they are just absolutely gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was window shopping. It was incredible.
You're like, I wish I had saved and bought that instead.
I wish I went to WrestleMania 41 and just didn't get this.
We're going to WrestleMania 41. What are you talking about?
Well, we are, but we need to go to WrestleMania 41 and get those tag titles.
Okay.
We're the tag team champs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is great. I'm really excited that they're doing this. And what I thought was funny is I think it was Humble Wrestling immediately was like, Cody Rhodes is looking at those tag titles and already thinking about how he wants to bring in a new WWE title. And I was like, I wouldn't be mad about it. I don't know that it's gonna happen with the undisputed title. And I think that if it were to be something that happened, it would be just for Cody's reign. I don't think it would be like, that's the new undisputed title. It'd be like, it's just for Cody. Otherwise, you're going to win the other one if whoever beats him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this was great. I loved it. And then they had the tag team #1 contenders match afterwards to face A-Town Down Under, which was the Authors of Pain, Legado del Fantasma, New Catch Republic versus the Street Profits. And this, I mean, again, I feel like I when I think about the notes I want to write on a match, I sometimes think that I need to break it down more the way that I do like football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, do I need to go over every single teeny tiny thing in a match? Because sometimes I'll be like, it was a long match, it was a great match, it was legit. Like, I don't know what else to say, but this had almost 3 commercials.
Dude, they got time. I was shocked that they got the third. There was right before the third commercial. I thought that was the end of the match. And it's like, nope, we're going to.
So this was so good, and this made it a lot better, I think, than what we might have anticipated for this match, because when you have guys like the Authors of Pain in the match, you're like, okay, like they're just gonna throw the dudes around and it's gonna be like, okay, cool. Like, you knew that they weren't going to win given who the tag champions are. So I was like that they didn't dominate the whole time. We saw so many different spots and like so many like, oh my god moments, and it was all of them from all of them. So I was like, I was happy with this. I think this was a great match.
The spot where Montez jumps over the turnbuckle
Oh my
as
god,
New
I
Catch
know.
Republic are doing moonsaults. Like, you have that. I mean, I was very impressed with Legado de Fantasma, Angel and Umberto. I would like to see them competing in the title picture when we eventually crown. I don't think I don't think A-Town Down Under is gonna have a long reign.
I think
So when we have
they're gonna keep it, I think, over Street Profits, but
I have a weird feeling like they would draw like the Street Profits are so hot right now. But then again, you could also say that Grayson Waller is like the hottest thing. So yeah, maybe, but I want to see them in the tag picture. They're so good. So good.
I'm excited that the titles are split. So now we can actually like discuss this, and we can actually talk about tag teams on SmackDown that can be in the title picture and can actually win the titles without it being a problem. It's very nice. I'm very happy about it. Do you want to get to some comments?
Yeah, we'll start off with Kevin.
Okay.
Asking how long do I see Theory and Waller hold them the titles? I say maybe like a month and a half. Like get 1 or 2 defenses and then get it off them. You just need them to showcase it and make it feel important, and then you get someone who makes it important with their matches.
It's hard for me to say because we don't know how the draft is going to pan out. So I think it depends on like who is going to be on the SmackDown roster. So like once we know how many tag teams move from SmackDown to Raw and Raw to SmackDown, then I might have a better. I assume it's not going to be very long, but we could be completely wrong. Like they could have a really long reign because they basically had no plan for either of them, which I don't really understand, and that's a topic we've talked about many times. But yeah, I want to see them hold it for a little bit at least because I like Waller in Theory. So
yeah, it's a month and a half. Let me see. Maybe Cody will be able to bring back the wing eagled. Maybe I just like the design now, and maybe they'll do it for like a WWE shop item.
I think that if he brings it back, like I said, I do think that it's only going to be for his reign because I don't think they're going to want to give up on this championship design when
it's a nice looking
it's
belt.
new. It's new, so like I think that I really wouldn't be surprised if Cody doesn't do anything at all because like it's a new design, so I don't know that WWE will really sign off on being like, yeah, let's change it again, and it's now the only WWE championship that they have that is very like clearly for WWE because the World Heavyweight has like a W on it, but it's not a massive W.
No, this is clear. You are the undisputed WWE.
Yeah, so it's like it's free promotion wherever Cody is. So
also we're getting a battle royal.
I know we're gonna talk about it. I added it to the banners. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I just added it.
Okay. Vegas would be a great place for WrestleMania, Nathaniel.
Well, if we listen to Mr. Undertaker said that it's going to be Vegas. I think it's going to be Vegas. I feel like the thing is they know that the internet hears about these things, and if you're really going to let everybody know about the chatter that it's between Vegas and Minnesota, and then you're going to choose Minnesota, bro, what?
Yeah,
what?
You can't. Like, and after how well the kickoff WrestleMania press conference went in Vegas, like, come on.
It makes so much sense. Like, do Minnesota for 42.
Yes,
like that's fine.
Fine. Don't care.
Your first one, as all of it is under your control, it's Vegas. It makes sense.
This one was all under his control.
No, it wasn't. He did not decide to have it in Philly. That was Vince.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, like you get to pick kind of control. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying this is the first time that like Triple H, Nick Khan, whatever, have a say in where Mania is going to be.
Oh, then yes. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like it's the first one that they have control over under, with Endeavor, TKO, whatever. Like it makes sense to have it in Vegas. And it's a warmer climate because even though it'll be like chilly in Vegas. It's not freezing cold unless you're like from the desert, then it's a little cold. But it's
Yeah,
not Philly
like,
cold, you know. And
no, Philly,
if you're
they're
gonna move it to
cooking.
May, that's even better. It's gonna be like 90 or something. So it's like there's so much stuff to do in Vegas. There's so many different things that they can do. And imagine all the partnerships that they could have. Like, come on. They could
Sarah,
even do like a UFC
could
fight
you
at the same
imagine
time.
Wale Mania?
No, I mean, come on, dude.
Come on, that's
Well,
just a party for
they
the
can
champ
even
and the
have a
best.
UFC match or something down there, like a week before, like whatever. It's like there's so many things that they can include, and there's so many
Oh, that
different things
blew
that
my
they can do.
mind.
Like the Sphere, I don't think the Sphere will hold like Raw or SmackDown, like people are saying. I don't think that's gonna
No, they'll do
happen.
World, or
But
they'll
like
do some
some,
sort
yeah,
of
they can do cool
immersive,
stuff. But they have so many different options. It just like makes so much sense.
Oh my god, we're just speaking it into
Yeah,
existence right now.
yeah,
Basically, is what we're doing.
yeah.
All right, what's up next? What are we
Um,
taking about next?
I don't have a whole lot to say about this other than this needs to end. I need to stop seeing Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO. I'm over it. And I agree with everybody who is saying they need to split them. Split them in the draft. I do not want to see another LWO versus Legado del Fantasma match. Please let them move on. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? I don't.
I'm laughing. Oh, sorry. I'm laughing at you saying that because I had this thought when I was watching the match. Like, I was trying to actually count how many times we've seen this match,
Mm-hmm.
and like who attacked Dragon Lee. Like, come on, guys. And if it's not Carlito, then like who?
Yeah.
And of course, Legado didn't do it. They would have told you and then
Yeah.
laughed in your face about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, all you got to do is just split them and then have Carlito feud with the LWO, or send
Mm-hmm.
Legado to Raw and then bring someone else to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Legado needs to be on Raw. They're too, like, they just Santos Escobar
Yeah.
has that it factor. Like, he just has it, and he could be I'm not saying world champion yet, but a little bit of what Noam Dar and the Metaphor have done, what they did with the Heritage Cup that Noam Dar was having, make that like the Intercontinental Championship for him.
Maybe
Like,
down the road, because no, not right now.
yeah, but you plant the seeds by going for him to go to Raw.
Okay. But yeah, I'm over it. I don't need to see this anymore. It reminds me so much of like Damage Control versus Bianca. Like I don't need it. I don't care anymore. Like I just don't. No matter how many variations that you do, I don't care. I just don't care. And I think people are over it. And both groups can be fine on their own. Wait, I just don't need to see the luchadors versus the luchadors because they're luchadors. You know what I mean? Like that's basically all that we're saying, and that's it. That's it. I think that we need to put like an end to it. You know, there's a way that they can go about it too. You can end it. You started to.
Jay started to care.
That's good. I mean, that's great. I mean,
someone did.
I want to see what ends up happening between like with the Dragon Lee situation. I think that is like kind of intriguing, but it also feels like something that they could eventually just forget about and just be like, oh yeah, let's just move on. You know what I mean? Like I really wouldn't be surprised.
Sweep it under the rug a little bit.
Yeah, it's like whatever. But then we get to the main event because there wasn't a whole lot really to talk about on SmackDown this week, which is nice because the matches had good time.
But it was intriguing.
Yeah, and
it was all intriguing.
Yeah, so there's a few other things that we're going to talk about that have happened over the last like 24 hours.
Seriously,
I know.
Like, oh wait, go on. Yeah, keep going.
So we get Bayley versus Naomi for the WWE Women's Championship, and this was a good match. They got time in this match too, and it was nice that they didn't play too much into like, oh, we're friends, so like I don't want to hit you, like I feel weird about it.
No,
you know?
They went into it's war. Like once you step between those ropes, it's war.
Yeah, and Naomi set that tone like when she was interviewed backstage, being like, yeah, like Bayley's my girl, but I want that title. So I was like, okay, cool. We're not gonna get the corny like let's shake hands and like hug and then be like, oh. I don't want to hit you, like they were like going at it the entire time. So that was great. And then my girl Tiffy, she was like, girlfriends. I was supposed to be in this match. I'm going to come in and punch you in your face and end the match in a DQ. Meanwhile, Damage Control is up there watching. And so is Jade and Bianca are up there watching as well. And Tiffany's like, hey, I'm in the cutest little outfit ever. My gear is on fire because whoever comes up with my ideas is amazing. So she throws them both into the ring after the match is over, hits them with the prettiest moonsault ever, and lets everybody know that it is Tiffy time. So I like Bayley. I like Naomi. I'm a big Tiffany fan. But as great as this match was, I am so much more interested in this being a triple threat for the women's title. Like that to me is the best way to go about this because of the friendship between Bayley and Naomi. Like you can get into it and the match was good, and had it ended, if that was the main event and that it ended as a normal match, then that would have been fine. But I like the added element of Tiffany in this because it makes sense. But I think the triple threat part is what makes the whole thing a lot more interesting because you kind of like don't really know what could happen.
No, you don't know. And I like this element because Tiffany Stratton is a thorn in the women's championship side right now. She's kind of been a thorn in every woman in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. It's like a good way to introduce her. And not only that, she hit probably one of the best moonsaults I've ever seen, and
it was pretty.
One of those prettiest moonsaults ever. It was. It was pretty. It was pretty. So because like she's already got that, I don't see why not put her in this triple threat, because then you can have her feud with Naomi afterwards, or she got so close or something that she's thrown into feuding with Bayley, and then whatever. Like there's different ways that she can go.
They can also lead this up to her winning Money in the Bank.
Yes, and that's what everyone's saying. That's what everyone's saying.
Isn't it funny how the internet just decides like who deserves to win Money in the Bank? But I really do think this year it should be for the women. It should be Tiffany.
I just don't see anyone else.
Me neither. Like when we were talking about it last year, we were saying it should be Io. Like it made sense
and then
for
what
Io.
Happened?
Yeah. So I mean, I think that this just makes sense. They can go after each other for a couple months until Money in the Bank, and then that's the way that Tiffany gets her chance. And like I said, make a pink briefcase and I'm buying it. Okay, I'm buying it. I'm bedazzling it. I'm gonna do it. I feel like it's that's such a perfect marketing thing for them to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And she can do so many cute things like with it and like involving it in her like with her character. Like, come on.
I need to get my niece one now that you said it, because she would love that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
It would be so good. Well, because it's not like women don't buy, the replica briefcase, but it would be cool to have one that is literally like so girly that is aimed at girls, like it would be nice to have something like that.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So I would love to see that. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Let's see.
Then we can talk about this. So they're already starting the post Mania releases, and people are getting all nervous because in the past they've done a lot of significant releases after WrestleMania. But so far, I would say they're pretty tame and not unexpected. Because we saw Xia Li, which I was a little bummed about that, just because I felt like when they were during that time where they were really pushing her, like I was getting interested in like what she could do and her feud with Becky, and then it just fell, like it just stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah, they suspended her or like whatever, and they just because she interfered, like it was very bizarre.
Yeah, so I don't know if something happened behind the scenes, but like she was just at the Hall of Fame and stuff, so it's like I would imagine that she wasn't in the doghouse. I think that maybe I don't know. They just were like, okay, we have nothing for you. We don't have plans for you. It's just not going to work out.
And that's
and then they did release Indus Shear, including Jinder Mahal. And then they released another girl, but I can't remember her name. But I think she was in NXT. But anyway, so
I'm gonna look it up.
those are who they've released so far. I don't really know. Like, I feel like sometimes you can kind of take a guess about who might be next. I just don't know. I don't think that we're really going to see uh the big releases that we have in the past. So I don't know that we should sit here and be like, oh, this person might or this person.
Yeah, no, it's a different time, and what
Yeah,
these releases were, it wasn't budget cuts, it wasn't anything like that. They're
yeah.
just trying to clean house to run an efficient ship,
Well, because like
and
the draft is coming up, and they're going to
exactly.
be bringing people from NXT to WWE, and it's like, or to Raw and SmackDown. So it's
Main
like
roster.
you got to get rid of the people who are already on Raw and SmackDown, who you don't have plans for, who you don't have a vision for, that you feel okay with moving on, because the people that you're going to bring up from NXT, they haven't gotten a shot yet. So you don't know if they're going to be great on Raw and SmackDown. You don't know if they're going to be terrible, but they need to have
Yeah.
a chance, and you need to make room for them. So I'm excited because I think Ilya is going to the main roster, and I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about it.
I love that,
Um,
man. I've never seen someone try to do the most insane workouts and be serious about it like this man does. I mean, I think he just likes to put weights on himself and just
mhm,
see how well he can balance.
yeah,
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from him.
yeah. So
Oh, I want
we
to do one. Well, hold on.
well, we only have 2 things left.
There's a comment.
Well, but we can come back to it.
Okay,
We can go over a bunch of comments afterwards. We literally just have this and one more thing to talk about. It'll take 2 seconds.
because I have to ramble. So
Okay,
go.
calm down. So we have Def Rebel, and we don't want to keep trashing Def Rebel for the sake of trashing Def
I
Rebel.
will.
But the reason why I wanted to mention it was because I just said when we were talking on the Thursday show, well, it was Friday, but all of the songs that they now have the wrestler saying something before the music hits, right? And I was like, okay. Then we get new ones last night. And so I'm like, I have to talk about this because AJ Styles being like, you don't want none. And then we have
Terrible.
New Catch Republic. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Every song does not need someone yelling their thing, so you know it's them.
No.
It's very lazy. It's just
And
it's
that's what I think it
not good.
is. I think that was that's like I was joking about it before we went on, but I really do think it's like Def Rebel's way of being like, okay, we hear you say that you don't know whose music is whose, so we're just gonna have them say something at the beginning, so then you automatically know, and it's like that doesn't make the music better, bro. It doesn't. So
And
it
the
actually might make it worse because this is so dumb.
it's so dumb, and the issue I have with it is that it goes from one of the, saying so that you know who it is to then the most generic video game music that I actually have had more better songs, just better songs in video games with created characters than I have with actual WWE superstars. It's
Mm-hmm.
just insane. If you're gonna go with that route, it's gotta be like an edge, like you think you know me, like
Yeah.
something where it's a song that's a legit song and not just beats put together in GarageBand.
Well, and when they used to do it where like, you can say with Edge or even with The Rock with like if you smell, right? Like the things that they were saying, it had already become something that you heard and associate it with that person. Like it was a
Yes.
big part of their character and whatever. Now they're just like having them say random stuff. You know what I mean? Like, oh, New Catch Republic is saying their team name. Okay? Like why though? Or
AJ Styles' theme, he doesn't say you don't want none. His theme song does.
yeah, and it's like I don't necessarily associate that with AJ Styles, It's like it
No.
really is just a lazy way to get them to get the heat off of them for making shitty music. I feel like that's what it is.
Do you
Um
think do you think that there's we live in a universe that would somehow allow us to get AJ Styles theme, or at least one of them from TNA, and put it into WWE, even for just like a special occasion?
I mean maybe, but it also depends on if he wants that. Like you might want it, but that doesn't mean he does. You
That's
know what I mean?
true.
He might not want to like take something from his past. You know what I mean? Sometimes they like to just be like, okay, that was my TNA career. Now I'm in
Okay,
WWE.
fair.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
mean, I do actually,
the
yeah.
nostalgia factor is great. I mean, even when we say about it with like Drew McIntyre, like people want him to bring back Broken Dreams, but maybe he doesn't want to. Like just because we want to and we're saying you should let him, it doesn't mean that he's, you know,
He
knocking
doesn't have to
down
agree.
Triple H's door like let me use Broken Dreams, you know?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's not necessarily happening. So and then last bit, because Richard mentioned it, I literally just said on Raw that, or on the Raw Rewind, that I did not want them to do a battle royal to crown the next Women's World Champion, and that is exactly what is happening.
That
So
happened.
I hate it because it just feels cheap, but I feel maybe the reason why they're doing it is because they want it to feel that way. They don't want the person to necessarily earn it like through a tournament, because if their plan, long-term plan, is whenever Rhea comes back to put the title back on her, it's a lot easier of a transition to take the title off of someone who didn't like go through hell to get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like that's the only way that I can be like, okay, fine. Like she literally won a 15-woman battle royal. Like, okay, cool. Like I don't care if Rhea takes it off her. Like
Exactly.
I think that is the only silver lining of it. Otherwise, it just is like, what are we doing? Like,
I
why?
don't care. Like I do not care about like how they do it.
Mhm.
It's to me there's only two people that really deserve to win it, and it's obviously Liv and then Becky, just because it's Becky Lynch. Like, when shit happens, this is why you have superstars like Becky Lynch, Bailey, Charlotte Flair, whatever, to come in and just be champion because they just know how to do it.
Yeah.
Where if you're gonna go with Liv, perfect. Now that's a sign to the audience that you're going with the story. You're gonna go with the fact that Liv injured her and somehow she gets to become new champion because she was in like any sort of bullshit reason you want to think of.
Yeah.
And then it actually ends up being, well, Rhea's first feud back is immediately going to be with Liv Morgan. Why not just have it be for the title? And then if Rhea wins the first match, and then you can eventually have Liv win at the whatever. So like it will all
Yeah.
work out in the end, but you got to pick a path. It's and
Mhm.
those are only two.
Yeah.
Two roads
Yeah.
diverge.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's just that, I guess it's like I said, the best way for them to just add to the story right now. Like it will be easier for people to be okay with eventually if the plan is for Rhea to just come back and get her title. So okay, so you can do comments if you like, no matter what.
Yes.
We can do all of them because I saw there's a lot.
Yeah, I'll do all of them because we're not even at the hour mark.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have a 2-hour show compared to a 3-hour show.
And something that had longer matches. So
Way longer matches and more
yeah.
backstage stuff. We get Liv Becky at Backlash. That's good. That's
I
a good idea, Dickie.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. Maybe they're both of their feet touch the ground at the same time, you know,
Ooh,
or some
Sarah, that's gonna fucking happen.
or somebody like pulls Becky out or something like that, you know what I mean? So that it's like she wasn't really eliminated or something, you know what I mean?
It's Sarah. I can just I'm picturing it right now in my mind. Chill. I'm picturing it in my mind right now, watching it, and looking at my phone, looking up as the elimination's happening. Both
Mhm.
feet hit the floor, and I'm just flabbergasted, and you're like, "Ha! Fucking knew it!"
I mean, I would be okay with that too, because at least it makes the battle royal not feel as dumb. You know, it's like, okay, well, there was more to the battle royal than it just simply being like, oh wow, Liv hit eliminated one person in the battle royal and she won. You know, like that would make it a little bit more entertaining.
What if we get like a Maxine Dupree elimination, and then she gets the Santino treatment? She's a
Ugh,
lot like, oh my god, I would lose it. Maybe Chelsea Green should win it. Fuck it.
she's not winning it. Stop it.
No, just I know
I
she's
love
not,
her,
but
but
we love the energy though.
did you see that her and Piper have actually been like really good friends for years?
Yeah,
I thought that was so cute.
yeah, they worked on the indies together and
In
everything.
Japan.
Yeah, I love stories like that.
Yeah, she said Chelsea said that Piper took care of her when she got hurt and like washed her hair and stuff like that. And
See
I was like,
now
oh,
now that
so
makes
that
like the P like it's like P could be like
I
they're
know,
like that makes it a little better. It's like it's not as a random pairing
I
as
know it makes me like it more, like
Mhm.
because we've at first we're like, oh, they're just gonna put them together because it's like tall and small, you know what I mean? Like,
And they're both doing
and
nothing.
but it's like no, they're actually friends, so that's cool.
Def oh Def Rebel is a fine producer, but they got lazy and are changing themes that are perfectly fine. I got worried because of all this Def Rebel shit. The Street Profits theme when I was rewatching SmackDown. I was dancing down here and doing like and then I had the devil sneak in and go, what if they change it? What if they
I
change it because of
know.
this? And I wanted to punch my head so bad. I
Well,
didn't.
and I've said it, like, not everything that they've made is bad. Like, it's not. And
No solo.
I'll say that a bunch of times. I just think that it's a lot of what they've been doing recently that has been bad. It'll either sound generic, it sounds too much like someone else's, or it really is like, oh, we're just gonna have New Cash Republic say their name so you guys can stop complaining about not knowing who it is. Like
Okay.
that is really all it is.
So the songs that they have, obviously Roman,
But again,
Seth,
I mean, come on. Roman and Seth's are generic sounding, but it's okay because they fit the vibe. But like, I'm not going to
Laura.
give them credit for literally putting together a few beats and then it just repeats itself. Like there's no words. So
Okay.
like, how much credit can I really give you?
It says Demon in Your Dreams. That's a lie. That's Motionless in White, one of my
Mhm.
favorite bands. Main Event ish. Born a King. Okay, I kind of like those, but
Well, they
no,
did Gunther too, I think.
they get Gunther. Oh, they did EO Skies,
But again,
Trick Williams, Damage
again,
Control.
I love Trick Williams because of what happened. But if any, like from the Whoop That Trick, but if Whoop That Trick wasn't a thing, his song is terrible. It's literally like the most generic thing that you just turned up the bass for. So that's what I'm saying. Like some of their good ones that we like aren't really that good. Like
Uh,
if you took it away from that person or took a chance away, it's not that good.
Carmelo Hayes is good.
It is good, yeah.
I'm a fan of Mellows. Death
Is it
Waltz.
him?
That's
Is it
his
him
called.
rapping? Is it him on the song?
I don't know if it is. That's a
Oh,
good
okay.
question.
Because
I
I'm like,
don't.
with Jay's and Jimmy's, it's like, yeah, it's them. So it's like, can you really give Def Rebel credit for that? Like, they didn't have to go seek someone out.
Still,
Yeah, I mean, they're
uh,
not bad. Yeah.
Finn's is good. I don't care.
Doesn't
I
have
love Judgment.
words.
Well, doesn't have
I
words.
do love
True,
Judgment saying, if you
but they're not.
believe
They're not good. But
there's
that's all
hell.
bridge.
Yeah. So again, like, I don't know. It's not all bad.
Uh,
They're not all bad. It's just most of them, at least
trying to
recently, have
like
been bad. So
Almighty's good. Oh, Grayson Waller's I like. Damian
again,
Priest.
none of them have words.
Baron Corbin's new one in NXT.
No words.
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay. Okay.
NXT.
Oh, okay.
It's like when burn the ships. It's very good.
Oh.
But yeah, that's really all the ones there. DIY is bad. We kind of, to be honest, we just said Death Rebel's the problem, and well, I didn't hate all of them. You,
No, but what I'm okay, so this is the thing. I'm not saying all of them are bad. They're not all bad. Some of them I
yeah,
really do enjoy. But I'm also not going to credit them for being creative because most of the ones that we were
okay.
just saying that we liked didn't have words.
And the fans are the ones who
Are making
make
it
it
good, or the wrestler, the vibe make it good. You know what
the
I mean?
aura.
So it's like I don't know. I just miss the Jim Johnston era because like none of them sounded the same.
Do you hear Sexy Red is sampling Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy
Oh
on
my
one of her
god.
songs?
I
It's terrible.
Yeah,
It's
well,
awful.
she's yeah.
Well, she's awful, but like,
Yeah.
two peas in a pod. Let's see if we have any more. Jinder's song was sick.
It was, yeah.
Jinder's song was so good. Trying to see. I expect. Did I do this one
Yeah.
already?
Mhm.
Okay. No, trying to say. I do miss AJ Styles' old song. I miss his TNA though. His TNA one is the best one. It's this is the one I wanted to get to before you
Oh. Oh,
continue
yeah.
it. Is that Drew Gulak was written off television in a mob storyline. So you tell me how likely he is to be returning. Gable Stevenson, I'm shocked, is still under contract. That man has the amount of charisma as a wet blanket. And then you have Odyssey Jones, who I'm not gonna lie, I forgot he was still in the company.
Me too. But he was one of the ones they drafted last year too, and then they just literally never did anything
As
with
a
him.
free agent.
And they
Is
did
that
nothing.
remember that bullshit twist? I didn't like that.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I didn't like that. Just send him down to NXT. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because what's his face? I almost said Von Wagner, and that's not it. No, is it? Von Wagner.
Yeah, that's a guy, but I don't know what you're gonna
That's
say.
NXT, right? No, because I was thinking of Movog, like this. A lot of Wagners came to mind, and I couldn't think if it was Vaughn or another guy. But Von Wagner, he was a free agent that was drafted in the draft last year that actually really benefited from NXT, and I think he kind of found a little home in NXT with Mr. Stone. So go into the pivot of just making it NXT. It's okay to get drafted NXT.
Well,
Dolph Ziggler went and
that's what
won a championship.
they're doing
Yeah,
that this year.
I did. Yeah, the logo is sick. The logo is dirty. The yellow on the bottom and the red and blue. It's great. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. WrestleMania 41, Liv Morgan versus Chucky. All in on that.
That would scare the crap out of me. Chucky scares me.
I never saw Chucky.
I haven't either, but I see the commercials for the show.
Oh, the worst. There was one night, I think it was after Raw on Monday, and I had my basement here pitch black, going to sleep, and Chucky comes on, and I was like, no, not
tonight.
I'm trying to go to sleep. You have Chucky just like, hi, how you doing? I would.
Well, now I think, is the show ending because it's like he's old now. He's like an old man, Chucky.
I don't know.
That's like when I loved playing GoldenEye on N64, but I would never play it at night because it scared me. Especially, did you ever play it?
Yeah.
So do you remember the surface game level? There's the one level in the snow.
Yes, the snow where you can't see anything.
Yeah, that one terrified me. I could never play that one. I was like, oh my god, I could not play that one.
Really?
Yeah, that one. Definitely not at night.
No, I get it night, that one. I just didn't play it because I kept getting lost, not because I was afraid.
Oh no,
I just kept getting lost. So
I played it as a multiplayer so many times that I knew the levels, and then also I had a Game Shark, so I would cheat and make myself invincible. So then it was like easy to win the solo.
That's smart.
Yeah, because then I wasn't worried about dying.
Yeah, because I'm stuck on a level right now in GoldenEye because you could re-download it for Xbox and Switch.
What level? I
I
wonder if I can help.
I will find out off camera because it will take me too long to grab the Switch or Xbox.
Okay.
But I am actually going to take you up on that because I can't beat this level for the fucking sake of me.
There's only a few that I'm not good at, like Jungle. I'm not good at Jungle, but
no, Jungle's hard. I started really getting into Mario Kart with my friends. We're actually one of my friends. Go follow him, John Franklin, on Instagram, and yeah, Instagram is where he does his work. We're doing Mario Kart Twitch streams because we've been playing every night. Mario Kart may be one of my favorite games of all time. When you play Mario Kart, what is your character?
Yoshi.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't like to pick anyone else. I love Yoshi. Well, no, that's not true. I also like who do I don't know. It's like one of the Bowser guys. I don't remember what his name is though. No. I'll tell you later. We don't need to talk about this on here.
Okay, sorry. Toad for Life. Yes, that's who my guy is.
Yoshi is my guy.
Right,
I love Yoshi, but I also like one of the Bowser guys. I just don't remember what his name is.
Okay, we'll figure it out who it is. We'll look into it. And you guys can get out of here along with us and go play some Mario Kart, watch some NBA or NHL playoffs that are going on right now, or even catch up on Collision. Because, Collision's on. We got Dynasty tomorrow night. Sara and I made our predictions yesterday. Go check out those in the archives. And while you're over there, hit that subscribe button, all right, and bell notification to know when we go live. Also, go follow us on all the social media platforms in the links in the description below. And I think I might be live tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming this game or not over at twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network for the Stadium Rant Madden League. What's up? Did you find it?
Yeah, I also like Lemmy.
Yes, Lemmy, I don't mind. It's the other one I don't
Lemmy
like.
and Larry.
No, I hate Larry. He keeps lookouting me at the finish line.
Oh, see, I hate Link.
Why do you hate Link? What? Why do you?
In Mario Kart, I hate Link.
Oh, he's faced. Okay, I got you. That makes sense. Thank you, Vinny. We love to see thanks. Go tell someone thank you.
Also, if you're a Patriots fan or if you're just a Sara fan, I will be streaming on the Musket Fire channel tomorrow about the Patriots. So it's my first one. And also, if you haven't, okay, check out my interview with Teddy Bruschi.
Yes.
That's also on the Musket Fire channel. So that would be
check that
awesome
out.
if you guys would subscribe also, because I just started the channel and I only have 20 subs.
I
So
subscribed. I'm like
thank
90%
you.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
90% sure. Then show thanks to someone today. All right, go tell someone thank you. I don't care who it is. Just go tell someone thank you for whatever they do. And because you thanked me, I'm thanking you back for tuning in, because goddamn, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys so much. God bless. And remember, you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you Tuesday. One more spin for the people before